Okay, now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Where were you coming from before you came here?
I was coming from, I'm a filmmaker and a photographer. So I was coming from location scouting up in Cold Springs, New York. That's where I was coming from.
Any good locations?
Oh, yeah, I got great location.
Now, where are you going after you leave here?
Oh, I don't know. I'll probably go home. Or,
All right.
I don't know, I'll probably go eat or something. I don't know.
Let me ask you this. You're a New Yorker, right?
Yes, born and raised New Yorker.
Let me hear you do a New York accent.
New York, I don't know. There is no, New York has so many different types of people that there is no one single New York accent, because Bed-Stuy is not going to sound the same as Bay Ridge, which is not going to sound the same as East New York, which is not going to sound the same as Queens, which is not going to sound the same as the Bronx, which is not going to sound the same as Harlem. So many different neighborhoods, so many different varieties, so many different sounds, you know what I mean? So there's no one sound that even, like, I don't even talk like most people from Brooklyn, so
But when I think of a New York accent, I'm thinking Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny?
Yeah.
How'd you get that?
Like, what's up, dog? What are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like
but
New
that's
York,
a Bay Ridge Italian.
New York accent.
Yeah, but when they say like the New York and my coffee and all that stuff, that's
Yeah.
like the Bay Ridge Italian American accent.
Okay. Can you do
know
that
what
or
I
no?
mean? Not really.
Okay, now any questions you want to skip, just say skip.
Okay.
All right, next question. Do you know any New Yorkers that are leaving and where are they going?
That are leaving?
Yeah. Or that have left? Because you know a lot of New Yorkers are moving out.
You mean because of COVID?
I'd say they've been moving out steadily. Even
Oh yeah,
before
it's
COVID.
gentrification COVID, right?
Yeah, a lot of people are moving to Florida for years and years and years.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know anybody
yeah.
who's moving out and where are they going?
My friend right here is moving out.
Where's he going?
He's moving to White Plains, and he's moving to Sweden.
Sweden. Why
Yeah.
Sweden?
He just likes Europe. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think about Europe?
Europe is fine. I don't know if I'd live in Europe. When I went to Europe, I didn't even feel not even 30% of the racism that I feel in America.
Really?
In New York City, yes.
Okay.
Yes. When you're a tall black man and you walk around the city, you feel it every day. The way people look at you, the way people's body language shift away from you, the way people, when you walk in stores, how they look at you when you walk in the store. As soon as you walk in the store, everybody's body language changes. You know, they might not directly, some people watch you like you're gonna steal, some people follow you like you're gonna steal. Even if they don't do that, their body language shifts immediately as soon as you walk in, and you could feel it. It's crazy, but you could feel it. And when I went to Europe, I didn't feel that at all, like not anywhere.
They didn't suspect you of being a thief?
No, like they just said, oh, there's an American guy walking in. It was like they look at me like everybody else. But,
Really?
yeah, but it doesn't matter where you go. I could be right here. I could walk into 7-Eleven right here, and you could just see the worker. It doesn't matter if they're white, Asian, Indian. When a black person walks in the store, the whole body language like shifts around, you know?
No, no, next question. If you weren't in New York, where would you be?
Ooh, good question. You mean like living?
Living, yeah.
I wouldn't want to live somewhere hot. I think I'm hot-blooded.
Like
So,
Florida?
Maybe Miami, not Florida. You know what I mean? Because Florida's a bit crazy.
You don't want to
but-
be in Tallahassee or...
Nah, I don't want to be in
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville and none of those weird places.
Yeah.
But I could probably see myself in Miami, if not Miami, California, San Diego, or Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, somewhere hot, kind of Caribbean, kind of tropical weather. You know. I feel
No, yeah. Now, if I was to give you 3 wishes, what would they be?
Oh my God, 3 wishes. Well, everybody knows you wish for more wishes, right?
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Right. I would wish for $1 million. Or
Get the
$5
money
million.
right out of the way.
Get the money out the way. What else would I wish for?
Health, maybe?
Oh yeah, I'd wish to not age past the age that I am right now.
So freeze time.
Yeah,
for you.
freeze time so I stop aging, or maybe even go back like 5 or 10 years.
To a healthier time.
Yeah, just go back in age, and I would want a permanent 6-pack. Super shredded 6-pack, permanent.
Why not just like super shredded all over your body? Super shredded.
Well,
or
I
super
am actually
like-
shredded all over my body except my ass.
Oh, okay. So that's your trouble.
I'm
area.
like decently shredded everywhere, you
Okay,
know.
That's good.
Yeah, but my abs are like, it takes me like a lot of work for my abs, you know.
Now, next question. You ready?
hmm
Game changers. What have been some game changers in your life?
What?
Game changers. Anything that happened to you that made you want to change the way you live your life.
Change the way I live my life.
Yeah. If not, just skip it.
You mean something that happened to me that made me want to change my entire life?
Or just the way you live your life. Your lifestyle, your habits.
Nothing. You know?
Nothing? Okay, next question. How important is marriage to you?
Not important at all.
Real? No wonder you abandoned Islam. No, next question. Ancestry. How important is that to you?
How important is ancestry?
You know, a lot of African Americans, they want to find out where they're from. They do these DNA tests.
Yeah, I
and then
did mine already.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
You know what? I got a good story for you. This is gonna be a great
Okay.
start for your interview.
Fantastic.
Okay, so I did my ancestry.com. I found out where my roots are, which is mainly West Africa, Nigeria, Congo, Ivory Coast, Ghana. But this isn't the fantastic story that I'm going to tell you. So my grandmother passed away back in August. And my grandmother's an immigrant from the Dominican Republic, right? So
You're the third DR I've had on here.
yeah, my grandmother's an immigrant from the Dominican Republic. So we started digging through our family tree to get her. Am I moving too much?
No, you're good.
So I personally started digging through my ancestry. You know, the ancestry website. You could dig through paperwork. It's not just DNA. You could go through birth records
So
and
it's
marriage
documented.
records and all these documents. So I started digging through my grandmother's. Since her funeral came up, I started asking around, and I had them send me stuff. So somebody sent me her birth certificate. So I saw her mother's name on the birth certificate, which she was born in New York, but she had fled DR from New York, and everything after that was cut off. So I went through Ancestry.com and I found my mother's mother, and then I ended up finding her entire side of the family, which no one knew who they were. So my mother's mother was one of like 12 brothers and sisters. She was one sibling out of 12 siblings who came to New York and had my grandmother. And no one knew anything else about the rest of the family. So I found the entire side of the family, my cousins, my Dominican cousins, and I actually like spoke to them and got them on the phone all within like 2 days. You know, it took me 2 days to find an entire side of my family that no one knew for 40 years. You know, I found them in 2 days. You know, 2 days of just digging through, and I found it without the DNA. You know, none of them had done the DNA. I had just strictly by names and records and birth certificates and marriage certificates, and just piecing information together. I found my great grandmother's entire side of family, and I found out that my great great grandfather is from Haiti. No one in my family knew we had any relatives from Haiti.
That's like neighbors anyway, though, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, they're the same island. It's Haiti and Dominican Republic, but you know, they have a totally different culture, though, you know.
Finished?
Yeah.
Next question. What's the weirdest thing you've seen or heard in this park?
In this park? Oh man, weirdest thing I've seen or heard in this park. I mean, every day something weird. I don't know.
All right, you want to skip that one?
Hold on. Weirdest thing I've seen or heard in this park. That right there is. I'm
Just
joking.
people screaming.
Weirdest thing I heard or seen in this park.
Don't want to get in on this?
Yeah.
Come on in. You don't mind sharing the screen,
No,
do you?
not at all.
All right.
Go after him.
Well, I think in the interest of saving time, let's just do this together.
Okay.
All right.
Hi.
Crashing
my
my
name is
interview.
Amani.
Introduce yourself.
I'm
Name, where are you from?
I'm Amani. I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you?
Famous one day.
Famous for what?
I don't know yet. Oh, I have a YouTube. Go watch my YouTube.
Oh, what is it?
The Real Amani.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Tune into that.
Name, where you from?
Yami. I'm from Brooklyn.
What can you tell me about Brooklyn?
Brooklyn is great. It's a bit boring. It's a little bit chill. Yeah.
All right. Let's do your New York accent. Do your New York accent. Can you do a New York accent?
No.
Like
That was it.
that was it. Okay. That was it.
No.
How about you? Can you do any accents?
Hello, mate.
The Australian.
That Australian
That's
accent.
Australian, right?
No, that's British.
That's British. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty then. Now, let's see. Where were we here? Do you speak any foreign languages?
Yes.
That was my question or her?
Let's do them
Do
first and then
speak
you.
Any foreign languages? Me too. Talk to me.
Oh, say something. They say something other than.
Not 100% fluent.
Go. Say something.
Don't say K-Lo-K.
Huh?
Don't say que lo que.
No, don't
Yo
do that.
sé.
Somebody already did that.
Okay, mi abuela es nació, how do you say born? Nació en la República Dominicana.
Okay.
Hola, mi nombre es Amani y a mí me gusta arroz con pollo.
Con las bichuelas.
Hola, me llamo Damile Ariana Rosario y yo soy de Nueva York.
Que buena. Okay, next question. What countries have you visited? What countries or states have you visited?
Mexico,
Yeah,
DR,
Mexico, DR, Puerto Rico,
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Oh, really? Bermuda. Atlanta.
Bermuda,
North
what's
Carolina,
Bermuda?
South Carolina.
Florida,
Uh-huh.
the East Coast.
And you?
Countries or states?
Anything?
Been to 5 countries, I think. I've been to Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Sweden, Denmark, Canada. States, oof, I've been to the whole East Coast. I've been to Texas. I've been to California, Miami, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina. A lot of states. Not all the states, but.
All right, before we go any further, did you want to plug your social media, Instagram, TikTok, anything?
My Instagram is Amanidulce.
Amanidulce.
My YouTube is The Real Amani.
What's your YouTube about?
Me.
About you what?
Just
Go tune in and you
tune
find
in
out.
and go find out.
But what's it about?
Subscribe to me. Wait, what is your channel for me to
It's
watch
called
this?
Common Denominator NY. Yeah. All right, next question.
Oh.
Where do you-
My Instagram is Ali Action X.
And what can we expect to find on there? Did you find it?
Yeah.
On my Instagram?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
kind
an
of pictures you
acrobat.
take?
I'm an acrobat and a dancer.
Can you do anything for us right now?
Oh, jeez.
See y'all. Good night.
I'm an acrobat and a dancer and a martial artist. So that's what you'll find on my Instagram is acrobatics, dance, and martial arts. Well, I have 2 Instagrams. So by profession, by what I went to school for, I'm a filmmaker and a photographer, which is what I went to school for, which is what I want my career to be, which is what my career is. But in my personal life, I'm a dancer and a martial artist and an acrobat.
How did you become so talented? There's a lot of people that just sit at home and do nothing. How did you become so productive?
I have no idea. I've just always been like this, to be honest with you. I was in gymnastics when I was 5 years old. 5 to 10 I did gymnastics. Did martial arts from about 11 to 18 years old. I gave up martial arts to be a dancer. I was a dancer from 18 till now. Went back into acrobatics like 5, 6, 7 years ago. So
Awesome.
you could see my stuff on Ali Action X, Ali_Action X.
You
on
make
Instagram.
videos too?
Yeah, I'm a videographer too. I'm on my video production and photography is ARC Cinemedia, ARC_Cinemedia, CINEMEDIA.
Awesome.
I've been doing photography and video production for 15 years.
What are some places you hope to visit in the future?
Oh. Well, I'm gonna go back to DR for a 3rd time. I wanna go to Guyana. I wanna go to a lot of places. I wanna visit the pyramids in Egypt. I want to visit some parts of Europe, but I don't remember which part. Spain, maybe, Amsterdam, the red light district, this kind of stuff.
Now you spoke Spanish earlier.
Sí.
Can you speak any other languages?
No puedo hablar no otras idiomas.
That's good.
I'm much better at listening than speaking.
So you can understand people when they talk bad about
I could
you.
understand way more than I could speak. I could understand reading the most, Reading is like I'm like 75% comprehension in reading, and listening I'm like 50%, 50 to 60%, but my speaking is like 20%. It's not that good. I gotta think too much about conjugations and all this passing for things.
You ever get Spanish people saying bad things about you and they don't know that you speak Spanish and then you catch them?
Believe it or not, most Latin people they can figure out that I'm part Latino just by looking at me.
So they know better.
They kind of know better, yeah. Like if they say something about me, they make sure like they say it in such a deep slang that I won't understand them. Because even though I go in stores and the guys are speaking Spanish to each other, and I purposely, when I go in a Spanish-speaking store, I purposefully speak very proper English so that they will not suspect that I understand Spanish, so that I could hear what they're saying. And even still, most of the time, they won't say anything bad about me. One time, there was a guy, I think he's from Puerto Rico. He had a Puerto Rican accent, and he was saying something about me, and he said it in such a deep slang I couldn't understand what he was saying. But I knew it was about me, though. That was the only time. But pretty much, I'm in a Spanish store every day, and I hear them talking all the time.
Now, you are Afro-Latino.
Yes.
How is the relationship between the Afro-Latino and African-American communities?
That is a very, very complicated question, because if you take an Afro-Latino, right? Let's say you take a Dominican who's as dark as me or darker, right?
Yeah.
And his mother and father could be Dominican, but he's born and raised in America. He will be treated as a black person. He will be treated as a black American, and he will sooner or later subconsciously identify as a black American anyway, because he's gonna speak fluent English and everyone's gonna talk to him as an American. So he's gonna pick up African American, which is actually what happened to my family. This is literally what I'm telling you is what happened to my family.
So you became African American?
Yes, I was raised as an African American. But my mother, strangely, is a black Latina woman, you know? But what happened with her is she grew up in the Bronx, and, you know, Puerto Ricans in the Bronx at that time, which was I think the 50s and 60s, they have a huge colorism issue. So if you're not like a light-skinned, straight-hair Latino, they kind of won't consider you like a Latino. They thought my mother and my grandmother, they thought of them as black, so they kind of like kept a distance away from them. You know what I mean? So my mother, when she was 18 or when she was in her teenage years, because my mother was raised here in New York. So my mother was raised here. She was like, well, fuck it, then I'm black. And she took on the identity of a black woman. And then she got with my father, who was a black American, and then she raised me as a black American. You know, so I was pretty much raised as a black American. So my last name is Spanish, and I can understand Spanish, but I was raised as a black American, which is a funny thing. And there are lots and lots and lots of black people who look like me, and you'd be like, oh, this is a black guy. He walk around, he speak like American English, but he could be from like Nicaragua, or he could be from Honduras, or from Dominican Republic, and you just like won't know it, you know? I got lots of friends. I personally have friends. I have at least 3 friends who I thought were black, and they turned out to be like Puerto Rican, you know? And I was like, you Puerto Rican? Yeah, wow, I didn't know that. But they were kind of like, either they took on the identity or people kind of just put them in that box and it kind of stuck to them, you know? Especially with hip hop, with the whole hip hop, because I'm big in the hip hop world. So with hip hop, if you grew up in the hip hop era and you grew up listening to rap and you look black, all the black people are gonna come to you and they're gonna talk to you that way, and you're gonna end up developing that slang or the way of mannerisms of speaking. So, you know, it's kind of it's a very like strange phenomenon. You know what I mean? Like black Latinos. Like when you go to Dominican Republic, when you go to Puerto Rico, at least half the country's my color. You know what I mean? But when you come to New York and say Latino, everybody assumes like, you know, light skin, black, straight hair.
How do you get along with, let's say, the black folks down south in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama?
I don't know any black people from the South.
All right.
I don't know like no black people.
Because I was always wondering what the relationship would be.
Between what?
Between like the quote unquote real African Americans and I mean, black people who come from Jamaica or black people who come from DR and Haiti and all them. Because I know there's definitely a bit of a cultural difference between them.
Oh, there's a big cultural difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean like West Indian Jamaicans and like Black
Yeah.
Americans?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a definite cultural difference. Yeah.
But there's also this camaraderie amongst black folks no matter where they're from, right? Because
Well-
I went to a party with a black guy once. He's from Nigeria.
Yeah.
And he sees another black guy and he shakes his hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all know each other? He's like, no. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's just what black people do.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we were like that. Yeah, we kind of go. I mean, he's not always like that, but I remember I was working on a film project, and I went up to Dannemora, New York, which is like a super white Republican area, and I was seeing we're in New York, and I was seeing Confederate flags in people's like windows and shit.
That's a bit extreme.
No, but serious. In the there's a big prison up there. It's a prison town, and I was filming the prison town, and I'm like walking around, and just how you got your camera set up here, I had a big camera on a tripod, and these white people were like stopping their cars just to look at me because I'm a black guy with a camera. And I remember seeing a black guy on the other side of the street, and we both went like this to kind of like, yo, what's up?
Yeah.
Like I see you. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know. It's not always like that, but it's definitely there. You know.
Speaking of the black camaraderie, let me contrast that with the Asian camaraderie. No Asian person, you see all these Asian people walk by me, none of them say hello to me,
They don't
none of
talk
them
to you?
shake my hand, none of them want to be interviewed.
But this is also